Hi guys. So today's story is called Winnie the Pooh, Roos Big Nature Day. So we're learning about nature this week, so I wonder if we can find any ideas in here that we could do at our houses. Let's get started. Winnie the Pooh, Roos Big Nature Day. Because we're learning about nature this week. Some days are just quieter than others. Of course, there's nothing at all wrong with a quiet day, unless you're a Roo of a rather youngish age. In that case, a quiet moment, or maybe two, is quite quiet enough. I'm bored, Roo said, louder than she was really necessary. Oh, I have a guest. There's nothing to do around here. I could read to you, Kanga said. I don't want to read, said Roo. We could bake something, Kanga suggested. It's too hot to bake, she complained. Do you want to do a puzzle? Asked Kanga. I've already done all of her puzzles, said Roo. Why don't you go outside and find something to do, Kanga said. But I don't want. I suppose I could find something useful for you to do inside, Kanga said. You could help me shell peas and then maybe clean your room. But Roo decided to go outside. There's nothing to do out here either, he called over his shoulders. Then it was quiet. Kanga let out a huge sigh of relief. Suddenly, Roo bounced into view outside the window. I'm bored, he shouted. I'm still bored, he yelled at the next bounce. Just then, Tigger arrived and started bouncing next to Roo. What are we doing, Roo boy? Tigger asked. Nothing, Roo said. Nothing sure makes a Tigger hot and tired, Tigger observed. Actually, Tigger said, if I remember correctly, I was hot even before I started helping you bounce. In fact, I was on my way to the stream. Do you want to come along? Can I go with Tigger to the stream? Roo shouted. Oh yes, what a good idea, said Kanga. And if she sounded exceptionally enthusiastic, well, because she was not really all that difficult to understand why. Roo and Tigger passed Rabbit's house. Rabbit was leaning on a rake in his garden looking sweaty and angry. We're going to the stream, Rabbit, Roo announced. Why don't you come with us? Tigger suggested. It might be cooler there. As they walked, the friends picked up more friends. Soon Eeyore, Owl, Pooh had joined Tigger, Rabbit, and Roo. Hello, called a friendly little voice. Where are you all off to? Oh, look, it's Piglet, said Pooh. We're going to the stream, Piglet. Won't you join us? Oh, that would be splendid, said Piglet. When they got to the stream, everyone settled in the shade of a big tree. There's nothing to do around here, said Roo. We could eat, said Pooh hopefully. Did anyone happen to bring any honey? But nobody had. How about a game? Owl asked. Did anyone bring a game to play? No, said Rabbit, who was starting to look sweaty and angry all over again. That's just what I was afraid of, said Eeyore. No one brought anything useful at all. I brought my hat, Piglet said proudly. Well, there's that, I suppose, Eeyore said. Piglet, who had been wise enough to bring his own shade, took a stroll along the stream. It was then that he made a truly wonderful discovery. Look at all of these smooth rocks, Piglet called to his friends. I haven't counted them, but I am absolutely certain that there's a very great number. But what can we do with them? Asked Roo. They look to be just the right size for rock skipping, Owl said. Well, I don't know about sizes, but I do know about skipping, and rock skipping is what Tiggers do best, Tigger said. Actually, rock skipping is one of the many things that rabbits do best, Rabbit said, and he sent a rock skipping across the water. Oh, can you teach me that? Roo said excitedly. So Rabbit gave his friends rock skipping lessons and watched proudly as they tried out their new skills. Piglet's tiny little rock danced lightly across the surface of the water. Pooh's big round rock lumped down to the bottom of the stream without a single skip, which was fine with Pooh because the splash was really very refreshing. Tigger's best throw skipped 3 times, and all of them on land. And Roo was soon involved in a spirited rock skipping contest with Rabbit, which ended in a tie, which means that they both won. Owl never threw his rocks at all. He meant to, but every time he picked one up, something about it caught his eye. Soon he was busy collecting rocks of every size, color, and shape. Some had sparkles, some had swirls, some had bumpy rough patches, and some were as smooth as glass. And when Owl wet his rocks in the stream, their colors and patterns got even brighter. Fascinating, Owl said. Absolutely fascinating. I brought you some more rocks, Owl, said Eeyore, but he put them down too close to the edge of the stream and they all slipped into the water. Oh, bother, Eeyore said sadly. No, look, your rocks have made a wonderful waterfall, Eeyore, Owl had said. It's splendid, Eeyore. What's going on? Asked Rabbit. Eeyore built a waterfall, said Piglet. I want to build a waterfall too, Roo announced. Can you show me how, Eeyore? And so it happened that Eeyore, who was rarely asked for advice and had never been before listened to when he tried to offer anything, found himself directing the waterfall building efforts. Even Rabbit consulted him about how to keep his rocks from rolling down the stream. It has been my experience, Eeyore said importantly, that if you drop all of your rocks by accident into the water at precisely the same time, they will bunch up together in just the right waterfallish way. So he did it by accident. By and by, a little puff of wind blew a leaf into the stream right next to Roo. Instead of sinking like a rock, the leaf floated like a boat. Roo chased the leaf boat as it picked up speed, hurtling over several splendid waterfalls and sailing out of sight. Did you see that? Did you see? Roo shouted. Who wants to sail leaf boats down the stream with me? As it happened, everybody wanted to. Rabbit was looking for more leaves to float when he made quite another discovery. What is that on your nose, Rabbit? Pooh had asked politely. It was important for a bear to be polite even when discussing things that might or might not be poking straight off somebody's nose. It's a pod, Rabbit said. I found it under the tree. I want to wear a pod on my nose, too. Now, we have these at our school, and I have them in my backyard, and you probably have them in your backyard. We call them helicopters. When you stand up high and you let go of them, they will flutter down like a helicopter. Soon all the friends were wearing pods on their nose except Tigger, who had learned that pods and bouncing just don't mix. But mud and bouncing, that was quite another matter. When a Tigger happened to bounce into a mud patch, all sorts of fun things happened. Squishy and squelchy things that went splat and splop and splatter. Hey, Roo shouted, wiping little globs of mud from his front. What do you think you're doing, Tigger? No thinking, Tigger said, just doing, and he bounced again, sending mud flying everywhere. I bet I can make the mud fly farther than you can, Roo said, and he catapulted himself into the middle of the mud patch. When all of the bouncing and toe squishing and mud pie making was done, Tigger and Roo were covered from head to foot in mud, and that is why it took not just one, not even two, but 3 dunkings in the stream to get Roo and Tigger clean. Afterwards, Tigger and Roo stretched out in the late afternoon sun to dry. Owl and Rabbit had their heads together sorting Owl's new rock collection, and Pooh, who had explained to everyone who would listen that he never napped, was snoring softly in the shade. Roo leaned over and tickled Pooh with a long blade of grass. Snorkel forkle, Pooh said, twitching his nose and rolling over. Piglet was on his belly, staring dreamily into a quiet pool, watching the reflections of the clouds drift by. In my experience, said Eeyore, I've never looked so good. Kanga stood, smiling to herself, enjoying the peaceful scene for a moment before she called out to Roo. It's time to go, dear. Oh, I don't want to leave, Roo protested. I'm having too much fun. Can I come again tomorrow, he asked. Can I, please? Kanga nodded. Yahoo! I can't wait, Roo shouted. He was louder than he was really necessary. There's so much to do around here, he said. So they used their imaginations and their minds to think of something fun to do. There's lots of things that you can do out in nature. Maybe you could find some rocks to add to a rock collection. Maybe you have a little pond or a stream and you can skip some rocks. Maybe you can go cloud watching. We do that a lot in pre-K. There's all different activities that you can do outside. So I hope that this book gave you a couple ideas and that you enjoyed our story and you have fun outside this week. I'll read to you next time. Bye.